Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on oxides. In our last lesson, we defined oxides as binary compounds that contain oxygen and any other element, which could include metals, nonmetals, or metalloids. We specifically discussed acidic oxides, which are the oxides formed by the chemical combination of oxygen with non-metals. We learned that acidic oxides react with water to form acids, with basic oxides to form salts, and with bases to form salts and water. In today's lesson, we will learn about basic oxides and amphoteric oxides. We will define each oxide and discuss examples of these oxides and their chemical properties. Let us get started by learning about basic oxides. Basic oxides are oxides that are composed of metals and oxygen. However, it is important to note that not all metal oxides are basic oxides. For example, aluminium oxide and zinc oxide are both metal oxides, but neither one is a basic oxide. In fact, they are both amphoteric oxides, which we will discuss later in this lesson. Students, in our last lesson, we learned that acid anhydrides are oxides that form acid solutions when they are dissolved in water. Can you describe what basic anhydrides are? Please try now.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello, everyone. I am sure you had no trouble doing this activity. Similar to how acid anhydrides are oxides that form acid solutions when they dissolve in water, basic anhydrides are basic oxides or oxides of metal that dissolve in water to form basic solutions. These solutions are also referred to as alkaline. Some examples of basic oxides include lithium oxide, sodium oxide, potassium oxide, magnesium oxide, calcium oxide, barium oxide, and copper oxide. There are some metallic oxides that have basic properties but do not dissolve in water. These oxides react with acids to produce salt and water. Iron oxide, for example, reacts with hydrochloric acid to form iron chloride and water. The term base is used to describe both soluble and insoluble basic oxides and metal hydroxides. When basic oxides and acidic oxides react, only salts are formed. For example, barium oxide reacts with sulfur trioxide to form barium sulfate. Calcium oxide reacts with carbon dioxide to produce calcium carbonate. And sodium oxide reacts with carbon dioxide to produce sodium carbonate. Students, we just discussed the chemical properties of basic oxides. Please match each chemical reaction with the product it forms.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. Please compare your matches to the ones on the screen. Basic oxides react with acids to produce salt and water. Basic oxides react with water to form base or alkali solutions. Basic oxides react with acidic oxides to form salts. Students, if you matched correctly, then great work. If not, please review your notes. How can we determine whether a substance is basic or acidic? We can use indicators such as universal indicators and litmus paper. They identify acidity or basicity by changing color. In this table, you can see some examples of the color changes that indicators display when they come into contact with certain substances. Basic oxides and acidic oxides can also be identified by their chemical properties. As we have learned, acidic oxides react with bases, while basic oxides react with acids. Acidic oxides do not react with acids, and basic oxides do not react with bases. Let us move on and discuss amphoteric oxides. Amphoteric oxides are oxides that display both acidic and basic properties. When they react with acids, they behave like bases. And when they react with bases, they behave like acids. Let us look at the behavior of aluminium oxide as an example. When it reacts with hydrochloric acid, which is, of course, an acid, aluminium chloride and water are produced. When it reacts with sodium hydroxide, which is a base, sodium aluminate and water are formed. Some other examples of amphoteric oxides include zinc oxide, lead-2 oxide, lead-4 oxide, tin-2 oxide, and tin-4 oxide. Students, it is also important for you to note that hydroxides that react with acids and bases are described as amphoteric substances. Aluminium hydroxide is an example of an amphoteric substance. It reacts with both acids and bases to form salt and water. Students, so far we have learned about acidic, basic, and amphoteric oxides. What common characteristic do all these oxides share? Please explain your answer.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello, students. Were you able to determine the common characteristic shared by acidic, basic, and amphoteric oxides? You were correct to say that acidic oxides, basic oxides, and amphoteric oxides are all salt-forming oxides. Acidic oxides form salts when reacted with basic oxides and bases. Basic oxides produce salts when they react with acidic oxides and acids. Amphoteric oxides form salts through their reaction with acids and bases. Today, we learned about basic and amphoteric oxides. Basic oxides are oxides that are composed of metals and oxygen. Amphoteric oxides are oxides that display both acidic and basic properties. We learned about their chemical properties, and we discussed some examples of each. In our next lesson, we will discuss neutral oxides and peroxides. We will define each type of oxide and talk about their chemical properties using examples. This brings us to the end of our lesson. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.